The world you inhabit in the year 2026 is designed to breach your internal peace at every possible moment. You are under a constant state of siege, not from armies or steel, but from a relentless barrage of digital noise, social anxiety, and the chaotic opinions of the masses. Most people have no walls around their minds. They are like houses with open doors during a hurricane, wondering why their internal world is always in shambles. They let every stranger's comment, every flickering headline, and every shadow of doubt walk right into their living room and set fire to their peace. But there is an ancient, timeless art that the masters of old practiced in silence. It is the art of mental fortitude. It is the ability to build an unshakable fortress within your own consciousness, a place where the noise of the world cannot reach, and where the storms of life have no power to disturb the deep water of your spirit. This is the 35th briefing of Timeless Wisdom, and today, we are going to teach you how to become the architect of your own invincible peace. Fortitude is not the absence of fear, nor is it the suppression of emotion. That is a common misunderstanding of the weak. True fortitude is the calculated recognition that while you cannot control the wind, you are the absolute master of the sail. Most of you are living in a state of hyperreaction. You react to every headline, every insult, and every minor inconvenience as if it were a mortal threat. This constant reactivity is exhausting your spirit and draining your vital energy. To build your fortress, you must first learn the power of the gap. The gap is that split second between a stimulus and your response. In that gap lies your entire freedom. A man who reacts instantly is a slave to the person or event that provoked him. But a man who masters the gap is a king in his own right. He chooses his response with the cold precision of a diamond cutter. He knows that his peace is a sacred asset, and he refuses to sell it for the cheap price of a temporary emotional outburst. Your mind is the only thing that truly belongs to you. If you do not guard the gates, who will? To build a fortress that can withstand the chaos of the year 2026, you must first dig deep into the foundations of selective indifference. We have been lied to. We have been told that to care about everything is a sign of a large heart. In reality, caring about everything is a sign of a fragmented mind. If you give your emotional energy to every conflict, every trend, and every drama that passes your way, you will have nothing left for the things that actually matter. The architect of the fortress knows that his concern is a limited resource. He guards it like gold. He looks at the chaos of the world and says, "This does not belong to me." This is not coldness, it is clarity. It is the realization that your internal stability is far more important than your external participation in the collective madness. Most of the things that keep you awake at night are ghosts that only have power because you invited them in. When you withdraw your attention, the ghosts starve. Think of the Stoic masters of ancient times. They lived through plagues, wars, and the collapse of empires, yet they remained as steady as mountains. How? Because they understood the dichotomy of control. They drew a sharp line in the sand between what was theirs to command and what was the world's to dictate. Your opinions, your intentions, and your reactions, these are inside the walls of your fortress. The weather, the economy, and the moods of other people, these are outside the walls. Most people spend their lives trying to repair the weather while their own house is burning down. This is the ultimate tragedy of the modern man. To master mental fortitude, you must stop trying to colonize the external world and start governing the internal one. When you become indifferent to the things that do not matter, you become unstoppable in the things that do. A mind that cannot be shaken by outside events is the most powerful weapon on this earth. Mental fortitude is built in the friction of life, not in the absence of it. A fortress that has never been tested is just a beautiful idea, not a reality. Every challenge you face, every moment of pain, and every betrayal is actually raw material for the walls of your mind. This is the alchemy of resistance. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the master asks, "How can I use this to strengthen my gates?" The pressure of life is what turns coal into diamonds. If you seek a life without stress, you are seeking a life without strength. You must learn to welcome the resistance. When someone insults you, see it as an opportunity to practice the silence of the sovereign. When you lose something valuable, see it as a chance to practice the detachment of the sage. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the craftsman of your character, and every obstacle is your hammer and chisel. In the quiet corners of your mind, you must develop a hard core of self-reliance. In the year 2026, the world tries to make you dependent on external validation, digital echoes, and social approval. But a fortress that relies on outside support will crumble the moment that support is withdrawn. Your internal peace must be self-generated. It must come from the knowledge that you have survived every dark day you have ever faced. It must come from the discipline of your daily habits and the integrity of your word. When you trust yourself completely, the opinions of others become like rain on a stone roof, noisy for a moment, but ultimately meaningless. True fortitude is the ability to stand alone in your truth even when the entire world is screaming that you are wrong. It is the courage to be the only one in the room who is calm when the fire breaks out. This is the mark of the sovereign individual. The most vulnerable part of your fortress is not its walls, but its gates, and the gatekeeper is your attention. In this era, your attention is the most valuable currency in existence. Every corporation, every politician, and every social platform is trying to pick the lock of your mind and steal your focus. If they control your attention, they control your emotions. If they control your emotions, they control your life. To master mental fortitude, you must become a brutal gatekeeper. You must decide who and what is allowed to enter your consciousness. Does this information make me stronger, or does it just make me angry? Does this person inspire my growth, or do they just feed my insecurities? If the answer is not growth, then the gate must remain closed. You are under no obligation to be available to a world that only wants to drain you. Your silence is your shield. Guarding the gates also means mastering your internal dialogue. The most dangerous enemy is not the one outside the walls, but the traitor within. The voice in your head that whispers, "You are not enough" or "Everything is falling apart" is the only one that can truly destroy your fortress. You must train this voice like a wild animal. You must replace the language of fear with the language of command. Instead of saying, "I am overwhelmed," you say, "I am being tested." Instead of saying, "I don't know what to do," you say, "I am observing and waiting for the right moment." The words you use to describe your reality eventually become your reality. A man with a disciplined mind sees a crisis as a challenge, a man with a weak mind sees a challenge as a disaster. The walls of your fortress are made of the sentences you tell yourself in the dark. Choose your words with the same care you would use to choose the stones for a cathedral. As we conclude this 35th briefing of timeless wisdom, I want you to visualize your internal fortress. It is old, it is weathered, and it has stood the test of time. It is a place of deep silence and immense power. No matter what happens in the year 2026, no matter what storms of war, economy, or social upheaval may come, this place remains untouched. You are the king of this landscape. You are the architect of this peace. Remember, mental fortitude is not a destination you reach, it is a discipline you practice every single hour of every single day. It is the choice to be steady when everything is shaking. It is the choice to be silent when everyone is screaming. It is the choice to be free when everyone else is seeking new chains. The world may take your possessions, it may take your status, and it may even try to take your freedom, but it can never take the fortress of your mind unless you hand over the keys. Keep the keys in your own hand. Stay sharp. Stay focused. And above all, stay unchained from the frantic energy of the masses. Your peace is not a gift from the world, it is a victory you won against it. Walk back into the world today with the quiet confidence of a man who knows that his internal gates are secure. Nothing can break you if you refuse to break from within. This has been timeless wisdom. The fortress is built. Now, live within it with honor and authority. The world will try to knock, but you are under no obligation to answer. Stay sovereign.